Hey, what's going on, guys? Double One Eight Set Shadow here. Happy New Year to everybody, and I hope you're ready for a bunch of new product that's coming up in the next few months. But we do have a brief reprieve in January. No products are coming out then. We'll be looking at Minerva's Rising for February. Chronojet Stride is also going to be in February. And then we've got Dragon Tree Invasion coming in March, along with the second printing of Blaze Dragon Reborn, which I still believe is slated for early March, but I do recall seeing a few vendors saying that they're doing pre-order releases January and February, so I'm not sure when the actual release date of that second printing is going to be. I know one of my locals has it listed for March, so we'll just have to see what happens. But as I mentioned, we have a reprieve this January. No new products are coming out as far as I know, but we do have Worlds going on at the end of the month. And an interesting thing happened. We had our restriction list updated at the end of December, and for D format, we got what was expected, a copy of what they did in Japan. Now you can play Magnolia, Elder, and Inlet Pulse in the same deck again, and Dark Strain Dragon has gone back to 4. The interesting thing about it, though, is that the list takes effect on the 27th of January, which is one day prior to Worlds. Does that mean Worlds will actually abide by this list? I think that's how it's going to work, but it would be best to check the event page for Worlds just to ensure that, and if you can't see any detail about that, best to contact Bushiro directly in the event that you're curious about it. But with that said, let's go ahead and get straight into the market watch. And something to talk about with what I've been seeing in the past few days is we've actually seen a lot of buyouts at the end of December moving into January between quite a few sets. Though I'm not going to go through all of them since I have talked about a few, but one I do want to talk about is a Lutetia support card, Slap Twinkle, where you have a frame rare and a double rare for this one, but the double rare is running out of listings. There are only 6 left, starting at $3 before they go up to about 8 and then $10. I saw that this was only at about 3 or 4 listings earlier in the day, so it's good to see that we do have a few more sellers getting back on the market with some of these. But this is not looking good, considering that Lutetia, Nostria, and Aura are also going through the same sort of reduction in listings and increase in prices. Slap Twinkle is looking to follow the same fate at this point. The frame rare of Snap Twinkle, though, may keep this in check as we have 10 listings available for this one, and this card usually sells for $12 or $13. Oh dang, someone bought 6 copies of this for 14. But we still have $12 listings across the board, but then we start to get into 15, then $20. So definitely pay attention to where Slap Twinkle is going. Otherwise, you might just want to pick up the double R now before it sells out. Unite Dianos is also seeing a rise in price. We're getting new hero support with Dragon Tree Invasion set 9, so this card has gone from its $5 listings to a minimum of 7, and then 8, and then 10. Not to mention the number of listings has dropped. We've only got 6 left. Hopefully the second printing of this set will fix that problem, but heroes in general are seeing slight creeps in price, so pay attention to what's going on that front. But for generic cards, we're also looking at another buyout happening. Frozen Resentment, also from set 6, has a lower amount of double Rs listed than its frame rares, which currently have the same base listing. The market price for the frame rare is only slightly higher than the market price for the double R right now, so I would suggest picking up the frame rare if you're looking for it pretty soon. If you don't want the frame rare and want to get into the double R, The second printing of the set is coming, so best to wait it out before it really goes up. Then a card that is going up and probably won't be turning back is Radlina. This card has gone up from $2 to $4 for its base listing and is now basically a $5 card. Roroa is getting more support with set 8 coming out, and we've been seeing some results in Japan's local scene where Roroa is taking a few tops here and there. Radlina has gone up, and a few of the promos that you can pick up from the latest tournament pack also went up, but Roroa himself is still not rising that much. That's not to say that you shouldn't pick it up though, because I do foresee that it will go up as Radlina is right now. Roroa in general, while it's not the greatest deck, it is out of a set that is not getting printed anymore. Then, looking at some cheaper end stuff that you might want to take a look at for tech options, one I want to talk about is Rough Trample Monster Mega Grago. This card comes out of set 4 and has a rare and a holo rare version. Let's take a look at the holo rare real quick. This one has 25-cent listings. We're getting into 40 cents though, so this card is rising up there in terms of its holo foil. If you wanted to foil out decks with this, you're gonna need to pick this up sooner than later. Now, the reason I'm also bringing this up is that keep in mind it's got monster in the name, which means this card will work with the new set 8 support regarding monsters. The other thing is that this card combos with the new Obscudid that we're getting for Eva. The new Obscudid that we get has the ability to attack the front row. And this card, if the attack it boosted hits, you countercharge 1. The interaction with this card and this new Obscudid is great for recovering your resources, because the way it works is that every unit that Obscudid hits with its special ability triggers this card once. So you have the potential to countercharge 3 cards with 1 attack. There are 45 listings for the rare as well, and this one still has plenty of 10-cent listings. Yeah. So it's still cheap enough to pick up if you don't want to worry about having to buy into the holo foil. Next one to talk about is also from set 4, Night of Desolation Fionuala. I think I got that right. The holo rare, unfortunately, has been up in value, but that's no surprise as this card has been a really nice tech option for Cater Sanctuary decks for a while now. In particular, Cater Sanctuary Shadow Paladin builds almost always play 4 copies of this, as you're sacrificing your own units while also getting rid of your opponent's units half the time, leaving situations where your opponent will have no rear guards in the same column as this card. Not to mention, this card is a great rush card. When the game starts and you play this card, if you're going second, more than likely your opponent didn't play a board, so this is an 18k attacker right off the bat. The rare copy of this is... yeah, we don't have very many cheap lists. Let me take a look at the second page. Okay, we still have a good amount of 30-cent, 25-cent listings once you get away from the sponsored sellers on the front page. So this card is still not bad to pick up for this value, but as I mentioned before, the holo foil is already dollars if you want to pick that up. Then a card from set 7 that you might want to consider for Bastion in the future. Sonitea is a failsafe for Bastion in the event that you don't reveal a grade 3 during the drive check. So this card allows you to retire itself in this scenario and then stand one of your rear guards. So basically, if you end up in a situation with a double trigger, a trigger and a perfect guard in your drive checks, Bastion will not be able to restand anything. If you're doing Bastion Prime, more than likely you don't have to worry about this card, as one, you've got 3 drive checks, And 2, this card only stands 1 unit, so it basically fail-safes for the original Bastion. For Bastion Prime, though, since it only stands 1 unit, it's not going to restand the whole board, which lowers the potential of utilizing Bastion Prime. But this card is 5 cents, 10 cents to pick up right now, and with the potential of a new Bastion coming out down the line, it would be a good idea to have a playset of these in anticipation of that happening. Then a nice little card for troll decks if you're trying to build something like that, Shield Fisher Dragon. So this card can troll your opponent with its high 18k base power, making it a lot harder to hit without Persona Ride. And for decks that really utilize multi-attack, this card can be a real problem. However, it does have a big problem of its own for offensive purposes, because this card can't attack. If you call a rearguard only from hand, this unit will not be able to attack. In other words, with Stoichia, you have a huge amount of cards that can call from the drop zone. We now have a grade 1 through 3, one of each grade, that can call from the drop zone. We also have 2 orders that can call from the drop zone. We have orders that can call from the deck on top of that. So there are lots of ways to get around this restriction. How you intend to build the deck with it is going to be purely speculative, as this thing has no established way of being built right now. But it's 10 cents to pick up if you want to give it a try. And otherwise it's a common, so it might even be in bulk piles at your locals. Finally, another card that might be in your bulk piles to consider is Knight of Heavenly Roar Reedy. I saw someone at locals play this in Youthburg, and surprisingly it showed a lot of promise. The thing about Youthburg is that the newer variant of it does not use a lot of soul. You have Therapy Angel, and you have 1 card from the Ride line, Breakaway, so the amount of soul that you'll end up using throughout the whole game maxes out to about 5, since you're not really using Painkiller Angel anymore. If you play Cadwalla, that increases a little bit, but Cadwalla isn't played as much in Youthburg either, and it's more of a tech option. This is a nice tech option for Youthburg, where if you miss a Persona Ride turn, or you're about to wrap up the game and you have this in hand, you can burn out the rest of your soul to make it so all your trigger effects get stronger. It's also not once per turn, and Youthburg builds soul with a combination of Revel Dress and Sequana, and I've seen this guy at my local Soul Blast 3 times for this skill, just because he didn't use enough Therapy Angels. At the very least, you can probably Soul Blast 4 with this to at least give your triggers 10k plus power. This card has a bunch of listings and is also another cheap one to pick up. Lots of 10 cents, 15 cents, so it's very easy to pick up, or you could probably find it in your bulk piles. Thanks a lot for watching today, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. If you found it useful, please like and subscribe. If you have any recommendations or requests for items you'd like to see, just let me know, and I will see about incorporating them into the next video. See you guys later.